Good morning friends, I am Ashish Agarwal from Team NGOenabler, and today we have come up with a video on one of the latest and key circular released by Central Board of Direct Taxes on 18th November 2024 relevant in the context of charitable organizations. Circular in respect of condonation of delay in filing Form number 10, Form number 9A and Form 10B or 10BB as applicable for assessment year 2018-19 and subsequent assessment years. This is not the first time such circular has been issued. Even earlier, many times the Central Board of Direct Taxes have released such circulars instructing to admit application for condonation of delay in filing of these forms. Previous to this, 3 circulars were released on 19th July 2022 allowing the application for condonation of delay in filing of various forms as applicable to charitable organizations, and even those circulars were applicable for assessment year 2018-19 and subsequent assessment years. If you do not remember, let me remind you all that we already released the video explaining the circular in detail on 3rd August 2022. So the circular was released on 19th July 2022 and our video was published on the channel on 3rd August 2022. Yes, it's been a long time, and if any of you have missed out on it earlier, let's discuss afresh about the possibility of filing application for condonation of delay before the relevant income tax authorities via the new circular released on 18th November 2024. However, quite a few changes have been made this time by the Central Board of Direct Taxes in the condonation process, which we shall specifically discuss, providing comparisons with the earlier circulars. So before we move on to the circular directly, let's discuss the instances where the requirement of such condonation application arises. The first is delay in filing of Form number 10B or 10BB, that is the auditor's report for the organizations registered under Section 12AB and 1023C. Second is delay in filing of Form 9A and Form 10, that is the forms filed when any accumulations are done due to shortfall in the application of income. In case of Form number 10B or 10BB, let me tell you, the date of uploading of form by the auditor is not considered. I repeat, the date of uploading of form by the auditor is not considered as the filing date, but it's the date of verification completed by the organization which is to be considered. Moving on to the circular, this time both Commissioners of Income Tax and Principal Commissioners of Income Tax, I repeat, this time in the circular, both Commissioners of Income Tax and the Principal Commissioners of Income Tax has been authorized for admitting the application for condonation of delay in filing of Form 9A, Form 10 and Form 10B or 10BB as the case may be, where the delay is up to 365 days. I repeat, where the delay is up to 365 days. Unlike earlier, where only commissioners were authorized to admit the condonation applications in case of delay up to 365 days. I repeat, in this circular, both Commissioner of Income Tax and Principal Commissioners of Income Tax has been authorized to admit the application for condonation of delay in filing of various forms, where the delay is up to 365 days. Unlike earlier, where only the Commissioners of Income Tax were authorized to admit such applications where the delay was up to 365 days. Similarly, now even Director General of Income Tax has been authorized along with the Principal Chief Commissioners and Chief Commissioners of Income Tax to admit the application for condonation of delay in filing the forms beyond 365 days from the due date. I repeat, the Director General of Income Tax, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax and Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, all the 3 authorities have been authorized to admit the application for condonation of delay in filing the forms beyond 365 days from the due date. There is one more interesting change here. Earlier, it was mentioned in the circular, delay beyond 365 days and up to 3 years. But in this circular, it has only been mentioned beyond 365 days, which means Even if the delay in filing has happened for more than 3 years, the condonation application can be submitted now, which can serve as huge relief for many charitable organizations. However, the conditions remain the same as were there in the earlier circulars, that such relevant authorities shall satisfy themselves that the applicant organization was prevented by reasonable cause from filing such forms before the expiry of the time allowed, and the case is of genuine hardship on merits. Further, in respect of Form 10, they also need to satisfy themselves that the amount accumulated or set apart has been invested or deposited in any one of the modes specified under Section 11, subsection 5 of the Act. Another interesting change that has been brought in by the circular is specifying the time limit for filing such application. I repeat, specifying the time limit for filing such application. Earlier, there was no restriction of time limit for filing a condonation application. But now, the condonation application shall not be entertained. Please listen carefully. It's a very important point. Condonation applications shall not be entertained beyond 3 years from the end of the assessment year, which means that the organizations need to file the application for condonation within 3 years from the end of the assessment year for which the application is made, not the year in which the application is made. It's mentioned the organization need to file the application for condonation of delay within 3 years from the end of the assessment year for which the application is being made. Suppose the delay has happened for assessment year 21-22, then the application can be filed up to 31st March 2025, which is 3 years from the end of the assessment year 21-22. However, this limit shall be applicable only for those applications which is filed on or after the date of this circular, which is 18th November 2024. All the applications, I repeat, all the applications filed before this circular and pending with the relevant authorities continue to be valid and need to be disposed of by them on the basis of the merit. Also, in the previous circulars, the time limit to dispose of such condonation applications was mentioned only for Principal Chief Commissioner and Chief Commissioner. I repeat again, in the previous circulars, the time limit to dispose of such applications were mentioned only for the Principal Chief Commissioners and the Chief Commissioners, and that too within 3 months from the receipt of the application. But in this circular, the time limit has been mentioned for all the concerned authorities, which of course includes the Commissioners of Income Tax as well and the Principal Commissioners of Income Tax as well, and the time limit has also been extended to 6 months from the end of the month in which the application is received by them. So earlier it was 3 months from the receipt of application. Now it is 6 months from the end of the month in which the application is received by the concerned authority. Please note that nowhere, whether it may be the earlier circulars or the recent one, the condonation has been granted directly by the Central Board of Direct Taxes. The circulars say that the relevant authority have been authorized to grant such condonation, but while entertaining such applications, they need to satisfy themselves that the applicant was prevented by reasonable cause from filing such forms within the stipulated time. So basically, unless the concerned authorities get satisfied and agree that the reason mentioned in the application is valid and authentic enough to proceed with the condonation, they reserve the right to reject the application. Practically, in my understanding, there is no platform for filing the condonation through online portal. It has to be either sent through mail to the Jurisdictional Commissioner of Income Tax or Chief Commissioner or Principal Chief Commissioner, whoever is the relevant authority of the exemptions section of the Income Tax Department, or a hard copy can be submitted to their respective offices for their consideration. Hope we have been able to clarify in detail what this circular has brought in for the charitable organizations. For more such updates and tutorials, keep tuned to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe it and put your notifications on. You can also follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.